Kobe Bryant's 81-point game is widely recognized as one of the most legendary performances in all of sports. His ability to individually take over the game in so many different ways authored one of the most jaw-dropping stat lines basketball has ever seen. But just how did he score those 81 points, and was this the best individual scoring performance in NBA history? Kobe's first points of the game would come from an isolation on the left wing, where a simple hesitation gives him enough room to blow by his man for the effortless reverse layup. On the very next play, with nothing happening, he cuts to the ball for a turnaround fadeaway over his right shoulder, which he cans. Here he starts another possession off the ball, and a miscommunication leaves his cut to the top of the key wide open for an easy long two. This time he's got the ball in his hands, initiating the offense. He comes off a screen that forces a switch and instantly attacks the heart of the defense with his back to the basket. Notice how 4 out of the 5 Toronto defenders are touching the paint. All eyes on Kobe, yet still he's able to find an angle and get the turnaround bank shot through. This time it's in isolation where he starts his attack, quickly ripping through for a dribble drive and beating his man for an easy layup. More of the same on this one, except this time he's going to duck his head and lower that shoulder to initiate some contact with his defender, and the result is a trip to the line where he hits both free throws. Now with just a few seconds left in the first quarter, he gets the ball and finds a spot where he can rise up for a jumper, but an up fake is enough to sell his man and earn him another pair of free throws. With 6 minutes left in the second quarter, Kobe checked back into the game, and on the very first possession, he wasted no time picking up right where he left off with a corner 3 off the catch. His constant movement continues to create opportunities for him to score off the ball, here diving downhill for a handoff that leaves him enough space to take off for a dunk. Of course, he's just as dangerous in isolation and has a virtually unguardable one-dribble pull-up jumper. On the other end of the floor, a dropped pass ends up in his hands and leaves him with a transition opportunity, pushing the ball all the way down the floor and drawing a foul. He made the first free throw, but on the second, a battle for the offensive rebound ends up right back in his hands, which he capitalizes on with an up fake into a step through for the floater. On this one, the Lakers space the floor for Kobe to attack off a high screen, and instead of gathering right here and attempting to finish over the defense, he takes one extra bounce to blow by Bosh for the easy 2 points. That leaves Kobe with 26 points at the half on 10 of 18 shooting, and that alone is already a really good scoring night for a majority of players in the league. However, there's still 24 minutes of basketball left to play, and these might just be the most explosive minutes we've ever seen from an NBA player. His first points of the half would come in transition, where a simple hesitation and gather step create enough room for a reverse layup. On this play, the Raptors set up in a 3-2 zone, and Kobe, being the offensive genius he is, roams into the weakest part of the defense. He forces a hard closeout from the big and counters with a 2-dribble pull-up over multiple defenders. He continues to go to that pull-up jumper in isolation, here stepping right into one from the top of the key and another one on the wing, this one from 3. He continues to barrage Toronto with outside jumpers, not only off the dribble, but off the catch as well. Even when running in transition, he confidently steps into a deep triple, showcasing just how much he's feeling his jump shot. On this play, the Lakers load up on one side of the floor to give Kobe space to set up an isolation. Quite literally, the entire defense is focused on him and him alone, yet still he's able to fake his man off the ground and rise up for a basket, plus the foul. At this point, he just can't miss a shot. Here they run that exact same set to give him an entire side of the floor, and one quick jab step is all it takes for him to comfortably knock down yet another triple. The constant threat of him pulling up for a jumper forces defenders to overplay him above the 3-point line, which he uses to his advantage with a hesitation and drive that allows him to easily get by his man for 2 more points. This next play starts on the defensive end. Kobe sinks to the nail to bait the ball handler into making this swing pass. After he pounces on the ball and tips it down court, he's able to successfully recover it with nothing ahead of him but the basket. Now with just under 40 seconds left in the quarter, Kobe's looking to get open on a UCLA cut, and on these back screens, it's the big's responsibility to protect the paint. However, Bosh gets caught ball watching on this extra pass to the corner, allowing Kobe to sneak right behind him with nobody to defend the rim. That dunk caps off a third quarter where he scored 27 points on an absurd 87.4% true shooting. And believe it or not, his night of complete dominance as a scorer is far from over. After a scoreless 2 minutes to start the fourth, Kobe sets up an isolation on the right wing. He puts on a jaw-dropping display of ball control and footwork before getting to the cup and drawing a foul. He continues to devastate the defense with these isolations, on this one going back to that unrelenting one-dribble pull-up once more. It feels like whatever Toronto tries to throw at Kobe just fails miserably. Here they blitz him on the high screen, which he counters by quickly splitting between the two defenders and pulling up for yet another and one. This time it's in the corner where he's going to initiate his isolation, and you'll notice his man playing the baseline while the wing defender creeps over to take away the middle of the floor in an attempt to take away any potential driving angles. Kobe takes advantage of the increased defensive attention by driving right into the help and kicking it out to Lamar Odom for the straightaway three. On the very next possession, the Lakers get out in semi-transition. Kobe catches the ball with enough room to pull the trigger from outside, but instead attacks the hard closeout before maneuvering around the weak side help for an easy bucket. With that shot, he's crossed the 60-point mark, and is now just 2 points away from a new career high. He faces up for yet another one-on-one, but when Jalen Rose hand checks him, he takes advantage by ripping through and attempting a jumper, earning him another trip to the line where he hits all 3 free throws. Just because he's got a new career high doesn't mean he's done attacking just yet though, here rising up for 3 more points. I'm not quite sure what the Raptors were thinking here, but Kobe comes off a screen and not one other defender thinks to step up, leaving him for yet another pull-up triple and 70 points on the night. Now with a 15-point lead, the Lakers are just feeding him the ball and letting him go to work, and he continues to prove that there's nothing Toronto can do to stop him but pray that he misses a shot. Like on this one where he blows by his man, is met by another, and buries the fall-away floater. Even when they double him 30 feet out, he makes a complete mockery of the defense on his way to the basket to earn another pair of free throws. 3 more foul shots would come on the very next possession with this shooting foul, and the final 2 on this last drive. The first free throw makes Kobe the second player in NBA history to score 80 points in a single game, and the second puts him at the legendary 81. Kobe would finish the game with 81 points on 73.9% true shooting, and part of what makes those numbers so impressive is how many different ways he was able to put the ball in the basket. He obviously scored a large majority of those points in isolation. At 46, it's pretty clear the Raptors had no answer for him when looking to break down his defender. Outside of those plays, he had a great mix of everything, scoring in the pick and roll, off the ball, and in transition. With 42 minutes of playing time, that gave Kobe an average of 1 point for every 31 seconds played, the second highest rate of any 70-plus point game ever, behind only Wilt's 100. That seems to be the theme with any metric you're looking at for evaluating this scoring performance in comparison to all-time greats. So while there might still be some questions on which one is actually better between the two, I feel more than confident saying Kobe's 81-point game was the best scoring performance in modern NBA history. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn my post notifications on to be first on more content. If you're interested in my more in-depth research, make sure to check out my website, podcast, and social media profiles. You can find those links in the description. Feel free to let me know down in the comments where you think this scoring performance from Kobe Bryant ranks among the all-time greats. As always, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.